Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Thursday, May 28th. This is actually the second video that I am recording. First video was more of a video of somberness. It was a pretty depressing video, but it was kind of raw emotion kind of coming out. It was right after, did a video maybe about 30 minutes after my live stream ended today. Honestly, the last 3 days in the markets have been pretty ugly. Pretty ugly for me. I'm not sure how you guys are all doing, but just it's a lot of the unbalanced volume. I really hasn't been respected, especially I would say in that first like 2 hours of the market open. And typically those are times where I typically find really, really good trades at. Took a really nice trade this morning on the ES to start off the morning. It was a short right here. Took the short for 5.5 points. It's actually more. My original position ended up taking two positions here. Took another position short, probably about halfway down from here. So this is kind of the average position between both. My first position was about 7 points in profit. And then it was about 2 minutes before the market opened. Was trailing my stop and profit. Got wicked out, and then obviously continued on its big dump at the market open. So was started off the morning in profit, but then after that, it went downhill really quickly. And actually, I think I took one loss on the NQ to start off with, smaller position size, but this. Let me see if I can bring up. This was where'd the trade go? No, it's right here. This was the bad guy right here. So I had two. Let me just mark them up here so you guys can kind of see. I had an area here of unbalanced volume area that was controlled by sellers. I had another one right here. Actually, it wasn't even that wide. It was somewhere like right around here. Again, that was also controlled by sellers. And it was about 9, maybe about 9:12, 9:13 in the morning. So about 40 minutes after the market opened. So by that time, I'm at my full position size. Had a limit order to go short right here with the stop sitting right here. You can see that trade right there. And then I also had a limit order set on the next area above me with a stop sitting somewhere down here. And we got the news that there was a partial agreement. Trump hadn't finalized it. He hadn't agreed on it. He actually ended up saying that he wanted a few more days. Well, this caused a huge move in the market that not only took out my first position here, also took out my second position, and by the time the second position came in, there was so much slippage there that it was nasty. It was nasty. So again, I can't really control this, that headline that came out, but maybe for the future. And it's a practice that I typically do. I'll have a limit order out maybe on an area that I want to short from. There's really no reason to have another limit order out for a short above here because I'm obviously waiting for this to either hit the stop or to come back into and take out my TP, which would have been sitting down here. So maybe a small mistake on my part there. Either way, kind of uncontrollable. All of that was just really bad. That really set the tone for the morning. Ended up then taking a short. Let me just get rid of this so I don't confuse myself. Ended up taking a short here on the big moves that came up. Obviously, once we dissected the news, there was really not much, nothing definite, nothing concrete about the headline news that had come out. And at that point, I I was looking at the market and I said, okay, well, all of this here was really inefficient movement to the upside. And I was under the impression that the market, especially once I saw this kind of pattern curl down here, I really felt that the market was going to fill in this inefficiency that the market left on that big headline news that was really a nothing burger. But I ended up being wrong on that trade here as well. So ended up taking a loss there. It was only 1 micro. It was my smallest position size. And again, it was kind of not necessarily how I personally trade. I like to trade from areas of unbalanced volume. This was more of a trade to fill out the unbalanced volume, the inefficiency that the market left going up. But, in kind of reviewing the trade afterwards, this retracement down here probably balanced out the inefficiency, because really what I saw was there was a huge inefficiency right here. And it was noticeable with my slippage, because this order got filled at my stop. But this order got in, my leader account got stopped with I think 7 or 8 points of slippage. But all of my follower accounts, nothing. There was no bracket orders open for them. They were completely out in the naked. So I think the inefficiency was really sitting more up here than it was sitting down here. So again, it was just that kind of a morning. And that's where I pretty much called it a day with my stream, with my Signal members. I said, you know what, I'm going to call it from here. Kind of regrouped and was able to, well, you see the P&L up on the screen. Ended up taking a long from this unbalanced volume area. Ended up taking a short from this unbalanced seller area, and for the first time in like 3 days, everything seemed to work. It was a beautiful thing to see, and I ended up actually taking a little bit more position size than I normally would have taken, and again, maybe part of some tilt process into that. I'll kind of reevaluate that area there, because I ended up taking, I think, these with like 6 micros. This trade was a beauty. I mean, this trade here was a beauty, and the short back down was a beauty. I think I ended up for 2 ATR. 2 ATR was what my target was here on the short. So ended off, again, super nice. I did not expect that from the morning, how the morning's been. It's been rough. It's been really, really rough. And, last week, like I said, I blew four of my PA accounts. Legacy PAs that I've had since like November, December. So I'm currently at about 16 PAs, all legacies. Might now look into filling those empty spots with some of the new end-of-day trailing drawdown, and see how those new accounts kind of work out. Again, Apex came out yesterday with some pretty big announcements. We could finally trade gold. Oh, that was another trade. Let's look at that one. Found an area right here. It was unbalanced volume area. So this all happened at the exact same time. I mean, it was just like a max loss scenario. I had a limit order to go short with the TP right here in gold. These areas have been getting respected really, really well. And this was exact time that I got both orders in the NQ knocked out, and I got gold knocked out. I'm telling you, it was a colossal 3 or 4 minutes of trading today. And it emotionally, it hurt. I think that's the hardest part in trading, is the emotional side. And you think you've been doing this for a long time. You think that you've kind of have most of the things in check, tilt, revenge trading, over trading, and a lot of those things crept in today. They really did. In fact, I can very easily critique myself even more negative and say that, this trade that I ended up taking right here, with 6 micros, that's bigger than most of my position sizing over the last like 3 months. You guys have been seeing what I've been trading with. That was kind of, maybe I could say that was kind of tilting there, to try to, make back, recoup some of some of that loss that I'd already taken this morning. So, I could beat myself to death. That's for sure. I'm probably my own worst critic at times. But I appreciate the support. I know that I had a lot of words of encouragement from today. I know watching me trade for the last 3 days hasn't been fun, and I get it. But I'm doing my absolute best, and I have 100% faith in the areas of unbalanced volume. But eventually, you're going to get scenarios like this that we just can't really control. There's nothing. This move right here from that headlines, this was almost a 150 point move in a matter of a minute and a half. And, again, if you're positioned long there, awesome. But if you had an edge in a system that was calling for a short, I feel bad for you, because I know I got hurt pretty damn bad there in the NQ and in gold. I almost forgot about the gold trade too. So with that being said, tomorrow's a new day, coming back stronger, and I look forward to trading with you guys. Take care, everybody.